In and all, how's it going? How's it going? Welcome, hello, welcome to another Tuesday night gaming chat where we talk about all the latest gaming news and reviews from the last 7 days or so. Bondi, thank you so much for that tier 1 sub. That's literally just come through. That is now 40 months. Can we get a shout out for Bondi? I've also realised that I've not put my alerts on, so luckily I looked at the screen at the right time. So I'm just going to press there. Let's say hello to everyone who's here. I'm just going to let that load up. No, thank you, Bondi. Thank you. Good to have you here, mate. Great to have you here. There you go. Press that button. Hey, it's working. There we go. Yes. So, a couple of things. Yeah, again, no guest. Not going to go into it. Yo, Pocket Ninja. Hey, safe. Let's see who's here. Let's have a look at the list. Gozzo was the first one here. Nice and early, 13 minutes ahead. I look like a child. Like a baby face. Kindred, good evening. How are you? Flame, good evening. My voice doesn't sound like a baby. My voice sounds like I've been sucking on a fucking exhaust pipe. I don't know why. Bondi, good evening. Great to see you. Danker, good evening. Jesse says, evening, you lovely lot. Sorry I'm late. Was listening to a Mag voice note. What year is this? And I said, 2029. And Bondi said, yes, and GTA 6 is still not out. Which was great. So again, thank you so much for that. Sound like a 73-year-old, look like a 13-year-old. That's what I'm rocking right now for some reason. Scott, hello, how you doing? Welcome on in. Sophie, obviously, lovely to see you as always. I know it's a rarity, and it's great, isn't it? Iquel, good evening. How you doing? Fortunately, on an early tomorrow, so won't be in long. So no worries. But if we can get that shout out for Bondi, please, before it does disappear, that'd be greatly appreciated. Fearless, good evening. Good to see you. Gozza says, a good thanks. Been testing out the little live stream. Oh yeah, because you've been swapped to Windows 11. Hope it all works out. Me, still on Windows 10, because I fucking refuse to change without having some time to making sure everything works. But there you go. You did it already. Do you know what? It's not appeared. It's not appeared in the chat. But it has appeared on my StreamYard. That is so weird. Thank you, Jesse. Why has that not appeared? Okay, Twitch being weird. I'm going to refresh that. Thanks for doing that, Jesse. Didn't even indicate that you've done it. Didn't even tell me. Sophie's done another one. There you go. And shout out Big Jesse for doing it. There you go. Wrong person. Yes. But that one did work. So fuck it. And that one's worked. No, that's appeared now. I've refreshed. God knows. I don't know what's going on. It's there. Yeah. I see it now. But the one he did earlier didn't appear. But then in my StreamYard, it did. I don't know. Anyway, I'll turn that on. So, yes, no guest. Not going into it. Leaving it at that. So we've got a bit of a different show for you tonight because, frankly, this week has been an absolute fucking arse in the games industry world. Not only has there been a total lack of game releases, but there's been some absolute shit hitting the fan in the game industry world. So we had about 5 or 6 games to talk about tonight, except then 3 got delayed. Literally in the last few days. One got delayed to next week. One got delayed in 2 weeks' time. And one we were going to get to talk about has got delayed till the end of the month. So we've literally only got 3 games to talk about, but we've got some gaming news. So we decided to do something a bit different because obviously we are now into July. Can you believe it that we're halfway through the year? So I've decided to look at what people are saying are some of the best games of 2025. This is not our opinions, but what critics are saying and what journalists are saying. So we're going to do half of a normal show and the other half is going to be kind of a thing where we're going to see what some critics are saying and we're going to get you to guess what you think some of the games are. Not yet anyway, but we're going to do that. The TNGC gods haven't been kind this week. They have not. To put it politely, they've been total penises. Bondi says, I'm still trying to 100% on Death Stranding before I move on to Death Stranding 2, sitting on my PS5 ready. Oh, my God. Well, we had a lot of good things to say about Death Stranding 2 last week on the show. It got, you know what, before I bring Dave in, I'm going to talk about this. This is really interesting. So it got an 8.5 on the show. And obviously I check out reviews and everything. We did 7 games last week on the show, and nearly all of them but 2, all their average scores changed. I looked at this. and I'm going to bring this up because I thought this was really interesting because out of Phil for a minute because we talked about let's have a look. Listen, we talked about shuffle tactics. That stayed around about the same. That got a 6.5, right? Locomoto, on average, we said got a 7. That's rocking about a 6.5, so that's gone down. Death Stranding 2 got an 8.5. That's now rocking an average of about a 9, so that's gone up. System Shock 2 got an 8. That's gone up to about 8.5, so that's gone up. Roughly in the Riverside stay where it is, about 7.5. And the Front Mission 3 remake stayed where it was with a 6.5. But here's the interesting one. That game that Dave hated, Tamagotchi Plaza, right? Tamagotchi Plaza, which got a 7, has dropped down. Now, this has changed even since I looked this afternoon. This dropped down to a 3.5 average from a 7, and it's now sitting at a 4 in the space of 3 hours. I don't know what is going on with that game, but that is mental to think that how that's changed. So, yeah, absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Falco, good evening. What games are you going to discuss tonight? That would be giving away the show. So you'll have to sit tightly and find out. Least if no one's score guessing this week, then admins won't need to do any shout-outs. There will be 3 score guesses. And then we'll play this game at the end. And you're going to have to be honest and say how many you guessed out of so many games. Not going to tell me how many it is. Right. Say what? I know. Yeah. So that game that got a 7 out of 10 on the show now was sitting at 3.5 at lunchtime today. Is now about a 4. What the fuck? I think Death Stranding 2 is closer to 9 now. Yes, that's gone up to a 9. That's gone up to a 9. So, yeah, some games have gone up. Some games have gone down. It's mad. And one's just completely dropped. Absolutely insane. Oh, Falco, reminder. Jackbox tomorrow night. Because you said you wanted a reminder. It'll be our second of our Jackbox nights. Unfortunately, you missed the one last week. We've got second of our Jackbox nights, sponsored by Jackbox. Tomorrow night at 8:30. So there you go. Yep, I knew it was going down. Yeah, it's a pretty shitty game. But there you go. Anyway, to help me get through this show, which might be an absolute car wreck this week, because nothing seems to be going right with it, please welcome the one thing that is reliable, the one and only co-host that knows the most, Mr. David Jones.
I've decided to cancel. I can't make it tonight.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for being here, Dave. Good night. So there you go. That was Dave Jones, who's been here. Really appreciate him being on the show. And that's it. That's the show we've got for you. Yeah, thanks very much. Cheers. Good night. We're not doing that. Fuck that. We're going to do a show.
I thought I was going to get an early night.
You know what? I was like, I'm so tempted just to call it a night after like 12 minutes. It's so bizarre. People are doing the Dave command. I think because too many people are doing it. Too many people are doing the Dave command. I think it's only one.
It's confused the system, has it?
Yeah, it's confused it. But there you go. Show your appreciation to Dave. Exclamation Dave. He's not running off. He's staying here. Dave, how are you? What have you been playing, dude?
I'm good, thank you, mate. What have I been playing? I've mostly been playing The Last of Us Part 2 again.
Oh, okay.
I told you the other week, I think probably about a couple of weeks now, that I'd played through the DLC for Last of Us Part 1. Because I hadn't played that for years. And I quite enjoyed playing that so much. I thought, you know what, I haven't played Part 2 since it originally came out on PS4.
Oh, okay,
so
right.
So I thought I'm going to play through it again. So I've mostly been playing that for like the last week or so.
Okay, interesting.
I'm almost at the end of day 3 of Ellie's part in Seattle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Almost at the halfway point of the game.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that. I'm playing it on New Game Plus, which is giving me the chance to finish fully upgrading all the weapons.
Yeah.
It lets you start the game with all the weapons that you picked up before.
Oh, that's cool.
Level they are at. So I pretty much maxed out all of Ellie's weapons.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can clear up a few other little sort of trophies on the way if I can find all the little collectibles and stuff like that, all the notes scattered around the place. So I'm doing some of that and just generally just enjoying the game and its atmosphere, its gameplay, combat sections. Still enjoying the combat. It's quite good because I'm playing it on the hard plus settings. It's New Game Plus.
Oh, okay.
That's been a bit more stingy with ammo that it gives you.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to sort of stealth into the combat sections, which never lasts particularly long. So then it sort of just turns into a bit of an improvisational battle where I'm trying to quickly run away and swap to a little bomb to drop on the ground or a Molotov cocktail to throw at somebody, just
Yeah.
to, you know, kill them so I can keep going. So it's proven pretty good fun. It's a bit silly that I'm going back to play it really, because I've got like all these other games so far that I've brought and haven't finished or haven't played very much of, and I just go back to an older game. But I really enjoyed Last of Us Part 2, so
It was such
something I really like.
No, I really enjoyed it. I know that was quite divisive for some people, but I did really enjoy it. Obviously, I was a bit late to the party, and I played the PS5 version last year, but I did really enjoy it. So that was good.
One interesting thing I read today, there's another good reason to go back to. It's just released today. They've released a slightly different mode for it, where it lets you play in chronological order. Because, you know, the story kind of goes back and forth.
Oh, yeah, back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously it's kind of split with the characters, but it lets you play it all in chronological order.
That's cool.
This new mode. So I may even go back for a third playthrough at some point and try that
Okay.
because that'd be quite cool. Different way to sort of see the story.
That would be quite good. I'd give that a whirl, actually. That sounds quite good.
Think worth looking at.
Okay. Yeah, that seems all right. I see, I'm a bit like you, not quite going back to an old game, but playing a game that I could probably play anytime when I've got a huge backlog of other stuff that I haven't finished yet. But I spent the weekend just playing Mario Kart World.
Oh, nice.
Because I was like, do you know what? We did the stream of it when it came out, and then we did the Manchester Twitch event on Friday, and we obviously did our first ever Mario Kart World tournament, which was great fun. I was like, do you know what? I've not played this enough. So I've had this game for nearly a month now, and I've just not played it. I spent the weekend doing the knockout runs and all the different things, and then like starting with one of the cups and then doing 50, 100, 150, trying to get 3 stars in each. And if I didn't, went back and did it. I've done about 2 or 3 cups so far on a couple of knockout tours. I was like, I'm really loving this. I'm really, really enjoying it. So, yeah.
I need to go back to that as well. I've done all the cups in 50cc.
Nice. Okay.
I've done that, so I need to go back and like do it all through as 100. But I like the knockout tour, like you say. That's good fun playing it online against other people. It's just nuts.
Yeah. Hello, Sophie says nerd. Thank you. I'm enjoying it. It's good fun. But it's one of those that I thought, I'll dip in and out, and I probably can. But then I was thinking, I've got to finish this. I've got to finish this. I've got 5 games sitting in front of me that I haven't finished. And I'm like,
too many games, too little time.
I know. Maybe this weekend, the Sunday, I'll hack through some other stuff. I really want to finish the Precinct next. Kind of want to get that done and dusted because I'm not far off finishing that. And then it's kind of like, shit, I really should finish Assassin's Creed Shadows. And some other games that I've got, and me and Sophie have been playing through Split Fiction. We need to finish that.
Well worth finishing.
It's just like, because I know we're going to get to there's a couple of games that are coming out that we're covering. Obviously, we've got the new RoboCop DLC, we've got the new Donkey Kong game. I know I'm going to want to hammer through that, and then you're going to have Mafia, Borderlands 4, and all of this other stuff that's coming out. And I'm just going to I'm not going to fit this in before Christmas. So it's just like, yeah, wherever I can, see what I finish. But yeah, see how we go. So moving on. Manic says, I have arrived. Hello, Manic. Welcome. So we're going to tell you what we're doing on the show. It's our 224th show. I didn't even get that right. And we've only got a couple of games to talk about, and one of them isn't even out yet. But luckily, the reviews dropped. So that was actually a saving grace, because we are going to talk about MechaBreak, which is the free-to-play game that came out last week. We're going to talk about Angerfoot. Now, obviously, Angerfoot was in my top 5 games of the year, but it's finally come to consoles. It's only come to PlayStation 5, but it came out on PC last year. So we're going to see, is it better than the PC version or is it worse? And the reviews have dropped early. A game we were going to talk about on next week's show. But we thought, do you know what? We've got enough. God help me if they cancel all the games next week. But we should have enough to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. All the reviews dropped literally yesterday. So basically 5 days early before release. So we can talk about that. Plus, we're going to be talking about the new Street Fighter movie that's going to be coming out. We're going to be talking about some of the people that are starring in that film. We're going to be talking about all the devastating news that happened with Microsoft last week. There's a lot to talk about there. And the fact that one of the people from those studios that Microsoft basically bought out has now basically retaliated and had to go back at them and basically said why they think that Game Pass is going to be the failure of Microsoft. Plus, as I said, we're going to have a look at some of the best rated games of 2025. And it's an interesting thing. We're going to go through a website and basically look at some of the picks they've done. And I've got another random site, and I'm going to get you guys to try and guess what those games be, because that list differs quite greatly from the other list. So it's going to be a bit of a thing to do. So we're going to crack on with our first game. I saw Manic's quite excited about it. So he said, yeah, MechaBreak. I've heard it got some quite interesting views and a few people like it. Well, we shall see, because this could be our first game of the night. This came out last Tuesday, and it's free to play, I believe, on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Now, the trailer for MechaBreak, the launch trailer, didn't feature any fucking game footage. So I've managed to find a trailer from the beta test, which shows you what the game's like. But unfortunately, the quality of the video is not fantastic. So my apologies for this, because the video could only get in 480p. So we're going to play that, but at least you can see what the game's about. So this is the MechaBreak open beta gameplay trailer, because I couldn't be asked to sit through a 3-minute video that showed no gameplay. Let's have a look at this. There you go, folks. So that's a little bit of gameplay from MechaBreak. Good evening, Celtic. How are you? Lovely. Great to see you. Welcome on in. But yeah, this is a free-to-play game. This might be something that we try out for a community night, like in August or something. Because it's free to play. It's on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, so we might give it a whirl. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, as you mentioned, this is a new free-to-play multiplayer shooter. This one with a bit of a mech spin on it. So just makes you feel a little bit different, because you can fly these mechs around the the game world. They're not just stuck on the ground. You've got, I think, different types of mechs. You've got the sort of support units, attackers, defenders, stuff like that, and you can play them in. You've got in the standard modes. You can go 3v3, 6v6, but they have included a like extraction type mode, so PvPvE, just to mix it up a little bit. And it's already been mentioned in the chat that apparently there's quite a lot of customization you can do in this. From what I can see of it, it looks perfectly all right. Graphic looks okay. The mech designs look pretty cool. Looks pretty fast paced and arcadey, which is always quite good for these sort of things. I think the only sort of bad thing against it, like a lot of the free to play stuff, is some of the monetization stuff that's in there. Because I think I have seen that some of the sort of the skin packs can be quite expensive. You haven't got to spend your money on those if you don't want to. It's just they have got them in there. They are a bit overpriced at the moment. Whether they'll bring them down after people complain, they might well do. But looking at the sort of current numbers on Steam for this game, it still looks like it's doing pretty well because it has been around for quite a while in like beta modes, like a lot of beta playtests, but it's still keeping a good player count. Well, I just had a look; there was just shy of like 70,000 people played in like the last 24 hours. So it's keeping good numbers, which is what you want for a game of this type. Because I think stuff like SBC Firebreak, you look at the Steam numbers for that, that isn't particularly good. That really hasn't kept people. So makes it hard.
It's a shame.
It could have been good, but that didn't launch. I think as good as people were hoping. This does seem to be piquing a lot of people's interest, probably because it's mech based. A lot of people love like mech designs and things like Gundam that got mentioned as well in the chat. So it looks like it probably is worth jumping into because it's got a good player count. You'll get into some games quickly, and it might last a good time. Especially if they can keep churning out new mechs, new levels, new game modes to keep people interested.
I think if that's the key, if they can keep churning out the content, that'll be good. I think the problem with FBC,
definitely it for these games.
Yeah, FBC Firebreak, there was only 5 levels, which when we did the stream of it, we did 4 of the 5, and I'm kind of like, there's no indication when anything new's coming. They've already plotted a whole roadmap with MechaBreak. Like you could see in that thing, there's like all this stuff that they're going to put. So that is like, if I was to get into this, enjoy it, I'd be like, well, I'm going to keep playing because I know this is coming up. Whereas FBC, I've already deleted it off my hard drive because I've got no idea when anything new's coming.
No, I mean, FBC, they're not pitching it as a standard live service game, are they? Which, it does make it a little bit trickier to keep people incentivized. I don't think there's really that much point to replay the levels unless you really want to do on harder levels to get some slightly better equipment. I don't know.
But then really what's the point if you've got no one to use it for? So
when you got stuff like this coming out that has got a good player count, looks like it's got some good, fast arcade action in. This probably would look a lot more appealing, I'd say.
Yeah. Manix played this on day release. So this would have been Tuesday last week. This come out. Apparently, Gilfly, who watches the show, was streaming this as well. Streaming today because I was watching Gilfly playing it, and he said he really enjoyed it. So that's cool. Your channel is in follow only mode. Yes, it always is. Chaotic. It's been like that for nearly 5 years. Just so you know, that's nothing new. That's standard. Firebreak is one of those pick up and play style where you can play it for a bit, play it for a while, and then get back into it when you want. Yeah, but that's if
is there still a player count there? You might end up in solo with bots.
Yeah, it's a bit shame. We'll see. Anyway, Icon says download this, but not had a chance to try it. Looks fun though. These games ever score well? Maybe 7.5. This. Celtic says I usually view on the PC, so it doesn't tell me. I have you on my phone. Sorry, you don't have to apologise. I appreciate it. As long as I've not got it on sub-only mode, then that's all right, because that would just piss everybody off. I've not even used it. Oh, God, yeah, because Kindred won the code. Kindred won the copy of the game, and he hasn't even used the code yet.
I haven't even claimed it on PS Plus yet. It's there. I could go and claim it. I just haven't got around to it. I could be bothered, quite honestly.
Yeah. Oh, right. Sophie says they're planning on bringing more content to autumn. That's a long time to wait. Not for a game like that. That's like
there's a lot of other stuff coming out between now and then. So will people go back? Maybe for a day or two, but probably not.
Yeah. Sophie, no. Did make me laugh though. Also, it's not only game that has a roadmap. The First Descendant. Well, yeah, we talked about it because obviously they announced more stuff for the First Descendant at Summer Games Fest. I'll be honest, I don't really hear a lot about that game. But there you go. I know you have a fancy button, Sophie, but save it for another time. Maybe when I become a super famous streamer and I can command that people can chat, but they have to pay first, because we are not, just like a few other things, this is not a pay to play model, all right? You don't have to pay to chat, all right? You can pay to not get ads, but there you go. You have a fancy sword. Yes, people have fancy swords. But there you go. Anyway, so what do we reckon this got? What do we reckon this got, folks? Get your scores in chat. Yeah, the last time someone pressed a fancy button, Mag banned Sophie and fucks up everything. I did. I accidentally banned Sophie, and then she couldn't mod at all. So that was not fun. But there you go. Dank is saying a 7.5. Bondi saying a 7. Gozzo saying a 7. While the chat are getting scores in, if there's any new viewers who've not seen the show before, fuck off, Dave. I know you haven't activated that because it would tell me on my stream deck. So, anyone's not seen it, we are guessing scores out of 10. The critics have guessed. You can have halves and whole numbers. You watch my fucking stream deck light up now. I'll be like, fucking hell, he's pressed it. And if you get it right, you get a shout out for your channel. Manic saying a 7 out of 10 for this one. Flame saying a 7.5. Yes, Lisa, I've stopped hitting the Christmas button. But, you know, only 5 months to the Christmas season, so I'll be hitting
that.
We'll
be here.
We'll
Make sure you've been good or Santa won't bring you anything nice.
I might have to... I'm seriously considering getting some stuff done for Halloween as well. So we've got some Halloween buttons as well. Lebraze, good evening, Lebraze. Good to see you. 6.5. Dave says, I wouldn't do it because Sophie would want to do it. And I would never take that away from her. Oh, that's polite. Lebraze says, I've been looking. That's okay. It's good to see you. Dave, what do you reckon this has got?
I'll try 7.5.
7.5. Dave Johnson is saying 7, but didn't see the game. So everyone's kind of going 7.5s. Few people are slightly lower. Last chance, folks. This is MechaBreak. Came out last Tuesday. It's free to play. It's on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So you can play it on, and I believe it's cross-platform. I think. I hope it is.
Surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah, if it's not.
Making cross-platform the free-to-play stuff.
Yeah. Not sure why you highlighted your message, Manic, because I already read your score out, but, you know. Oh, because you changed it and said 7 mechas out of 10. Okay. Kindred says 7.5, but unsure on that score. So, Dave, what were you saying again? Sorry? Were you saying?
I said 7.5.
7.5. Okay. All right. Let's see then what this scored on average. This got a 7.
Close.
So, a lot of people were close, but yeah, 7. Did Manic change his score? Or was he just adding the mecha bit to it? I can't. No, he kept the same score. Right, there is cross-platform. Thank you for confirming, Sophie. So, congratulations, Manic, Dave Johnson. Lucky, because you didn't even see the trailer. Gozzo and Bondi. Congratulations, you got that all right. That's a 7 out of 10. We may give this a shout for a community night in August. We will see. I think it's worth giving it a crack and see if people like it. Because half the chat are like, yeah, we play it. Half the chat are like, no. That was the same for FBC Firebreak. So we'll see what people think and we'll go for it. But there you go. Moving on to our first bit of news of the night. So last week, we didn't talk about it on the show last week because I was waiting for some more details. But last week it was announced that a brand new Streetfighter movie is coming out. Let's face it, the Streetfighter track record of films has not been great. The one with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kylie Minogue is pretty much only memeable because of the wonderful and beloved and now long past Mr. Raul Julia with, like, I invaded your country. To you, it was the end of your world. Today, for me, it was just a Tuesday. Stuff like that. That was very memeable. And then we got a really awful one with one of the guys out of American Pie being called The Legend of Chun-Li Street Fighter movie, which I watched a couple of years ago. Which was probably slightly better, but still awful. So they've announced a brand new live action Street Fighter film, which is due to come out on March the 20th, 2026. Filming is starting in Australia as we speak, and a couple of characters have been announced. The one that was announced last week, which is an interesting one, is the well-known actor / rapper who, let's face it, seems to only appear in films with Sylvester Stallone. And when those films he's in seem to be the worst ones of those. It's 50 Cent. 50 Cent is going to be playing Bullrog, the American boxer. But what is interesting is the person they have picked to play M. Bison. And I actually like this casting because I like this actor. And I know I'm going to butcher his name. But his name sounds like a dog because it's David Dashenhind. Oh, shit, I knew I'd get this wrong. Someone's got to pronounce this right. David Dashenhind or something like that. I can
I
never.
haven't looked it up, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, I'm going to look at.
Just call him David Dashound. That's what you're going for.
Yeah, David Dashound. Let me look up his name. Fucking hell. Oh, David Dashmalchian. David Dashmalchian. That is his correct name. That's how you pronounce his name, right? If you don't know who he is, he has been in some really good films, in a lot of minor roles, and appeared a lot of things. He's been in the TV show The Flash. He was Kurt in the first two Ant-Man films, the Russian cracker. Mainly best known for being Polka Dot Man in the second Suicide Squad film, but was also in an amazing horror film, Late Night with, it was called Late Night with, and the talk show host name, which we've got a lot of critical acclaim and appeared in a lot of best films of the year. And he's had lots of roles in lots of other films. He was in Oppenheimer and loads of other stuff. Brilliant actor. He is going to be playing M. Bison. And he's kind of got that weird sort of gaunt look like Raul Julia had as well. So he's kind of got that thing going. But that's kind of it. I kind of like his casting because he's a great actor and a very versatile actor. 50 Cent, not so much because he appears in a lot of straight-to-video films. And as I said, appeared in the two Escape Plan films that were straight-to-video with Sylvester Stallone, and also Expendables 4, which was dog shit, was probably the worst film. Jason Momoa's Blanca, is that true?
I've seen that as well.
Wow, okay. If you know anybody else names, let me know. I'd not seen that. I mean, that could work, maybe. I mean, his greatest role was comparing the Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath gig at Aston Villa on Saturday, because he hosted that, which I thought was quite cool. And then he got in the mosh pit, so fair play to Jason Momoa. Is this the same game? Roman Reigns as Akira and Cody Rhodes as Guile. Both WWE wrestlers, but they work. That probably is right. Yeah. That's the correct people. So they are okay. So they're Oh God, but they're wrestlers and not really actors. Yeah, Jason Momoa in the pit for Pantera. That's a hair product. But there you go. What are people thinking? Do we need another Street Fighter film? I know we've got another Mortal Kombat film. We've got a sequel coming up to what was an okay Mortal Kombat film from 2020 or 2021, whatever that came out. So yeah, The Rock did movies as well, but he started and then it's kind of got considerably better. But they're like, I don't know if they've been in any other films, whereas The Rock has done a lot of films. They need to make an actual good one at some point, so they keep trying. Well, maybe this will be it. Third time lucky.
You never know.
You never know. Or
but we've seen too many bad video games and movie adaptations over the years, haven't we? So expectations are low. Let's be on this one. I'm not expecting miracles.
Hopefully we get something decent, but we'll see. I'm not that excited for it, but if it turns out it's good.
I mean, I enjoyed Street Fighter 2 back in the day, but I've never really bothered with any of the follow-up games since. So,
Street Fighter 6 is the only one that I've played since Street Fighter 2.
So I haven't even tried that one.
I enjoyed
Street Fighter 2, love that. So I recognise those characters, but some of the newer characters might not know who they are necessarily. But I don't know. It depends what they're going to do story-wise in the game, doesn't it? Sorry, story-wise in the film, doesn't it? If it's just pretty much like fight scene after fight scene with barely any story, then it's not going to be much. You just have to hope they can do some good fight choreography just to kind of save it. But then you also have that trouble. They've announced like tons of people played all these characters, but then does the film end up too stuffed with too many characters? I not enough time to really flesh them out to do anything good with them. Yeah, there's a risk, isn't it, when they do that?
We'll have to see. There you go. iQuail. I love Street Fighter. I've done for over 30 years. They've been good games. I'm just not impressed. Chat is not impressed with Dave Johnson shenanigans. Dave Johnson says he's starring in the film as Vega, but with a bucket for a mask instead. So yeah, they did have Vega in the Legend and Chun-Li one, and he was so underutilized. He was in it for about 5 minutes, and then they killed him off. And I was like, that's such a waste of a character.
Oh no,
so bad. But there you go. Anyway, so we will find out. It's due to come out March next year, which is not long. So it's either going to be good or it's going to be absolute shit. Oh, we've got a full list in here. Andrew Coy's Ryu, Kalen Lang as Chun-Li, no, I think it's Ken, Jason Momoa's Blanca, 50 Cent's Bullrock, Cody Rhodes, Garl, Roman Reigns, Kuma, Andrew Schultz. I know Andrew Schultz as Dan. Okay, yeah, David Dashamar, Zen Bison, Orville Peck as Vega. So there's a few names I know there, but not a lot. What's a Vega? Vega is a guy that's got blades on a thing and has a mask to protect his beautiful face. I know Noah Centineo. Oh, okay. You'd have to tell me what else they've been in, but there you go. Anyway, enough Street Fighter movie thing. It'll either be good or it'll be shit. We'll have to see. I like the Dead or Alive movie. Was that? Oh God, was that the? Is that because it had loads of fit women in it? That had.
I forgot they turned that into a movie.
Yeah, that had fucking Oliver Lance in it, didn't it? From Neighbours. She was in it. Yeah, that was bad, that film. But yeah. Oh, and what's the fate? Everybody's favourite B movie actor, but he appears in everything. Yeah, Devon Ackroyd, Holly Valance, and oh Christ, the woman that was in My Name Is Earl. I've forgotten her name as well. I think
I know which one you mean. I can't think of the name.
Yeah, and it had Eric Roberts as the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Everybody's favourite B movie guy, Eric Roberts, Julia Roberts' brother. Great actor, but in so many shit films. But there you go. Anyway, talking of action, Jamie Kennedy's the male actor from Scream films, but it's something like that, isn't it? It's Jamie something. Yeah, you're right. But it might not be Kennedy, Jamie something. It'll come up. Someone will say it in the chat. Sarah Carter. Presley. Jamie Presley. Is that right? That might be right.
That does sound familiar.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right. Jamie Presley.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, there you go. And it had a guy who you might not know, a guy who ended up being, he was like the techie guy who falls in love with one of the girls. He was in all of Shameless USA as the bartender. So if you ever watched the US version of Shameless, which is actually better than the English version, he's the guy that owns the bar, and he was in it. And he was also in that vampire film which came out a couple of years ago with Snoop Dogg and Jamie. What's his face? Jamie. Yeah, I'm forgetting names badly. So yeah, that was quite good fun. It was a Netflix film. There you go. Yeah, Jamie, the comedian / actor / singer guy. Mm-hmm. Another Jamie was in the film with I can't remember the film now, with Tom Cruise. Is it Collateral, where he's the assassin in the cab?
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, Jamie
Foxx.
Jamie Foxx, thank you. Yes, so there you go, Jamie Foxx. There you go. I don't know why I'm going off on a tangent. This isn't about movies. Anyway, from ass-kicking action, thank you, Jamie Foxx, to more ass-kicking action. Last year, Angerfoot was one of my top 5 games of the year, but it had yet to get console releases. Well, last Tuesday, it finally did. It is yet still to come to Xbox, so I'm hoping it will do come to Xbox. But for now, it has now landed on PS5. However, is it better than the PC version that I applauded, or is it worse? Let's have a look at the trailer. There you go. So Angerfoot. Sophie was like, oh my God, that was so loud. But that was exactly like the game. Like you're walking around and it's quiet. And then as soon as you kick a door in, it just goes fucking mental. I adored this game. As I say, this was in my top 5 games of last year. But now it's come to PlayStation. So, Dave, tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, well, this is a little fast-paced actioner. I think it's a fairly shortish game, but it does now states welcome. Pretty much you kick the doors open, run in, kick some people around, shoot them, throw stuff at them. It is pretty much just trying to sort of get through in as cool a style as you can. Yeah. I think once you complete each level, you can replay it with little challenges. Go through with no damage. Try and do it with certain weapons or no weapons at all, just your feet. So it's got like replay value for each level, if I recall. In previous score on them and stuff like that. Now it's on PS5. Not really much difference, compared to what was on the PC. Same game and all. The main sort of difference is it's got the some enhancements for the dual sense. So you'll feel a bit through the dual sense when you're kicking the doors open and firing the guns. There's some resistance on the trigger for those. Apart from that, same game that you played back on the PC. Good excuse to revisit it if you fancy trying it on console.
True. I'd not pay for it. If it landed on PS Plus, I probably would. Or if finally an Xbox version comes out, I probably would play because I thoroughly enjoyed it. The Office and Corridor reminded me a bit of Mullet Mudjack, kicking doors and shit. Yeah, it's very much got that vibe. And those both games came out on PC quite close to each other. But then obviously Mullet Mudjack came to consoles quicker than this has. So yeah, all right. Let's see. Gotta love haptics indeed. Quickman, hello, welcome on in. Dan Game Tank, hello, welcome on in. Great to see you both. Let's see what people are saying scores wise. Danka says I'm going to say a higher at 8. iQuell saying 8. Bondi saying 7.5. Get your scores in chat. What do we reckon? Did it score better than the PC version or did it score worse? Flame said a 7. LeBrace said 7.5. Dave, what say you?
I'm going to try an 8 for this.
Going for an 8. This is, Quickman says, what's the game? This is Angerfoot that has now come out on PlayStation 5. 8 Angerfoots out of 10. There you go. Gozzo saying an 8. Kindred saying an 8. What did you say, Dave? Sorry, I completely lost that because I saw the question.
You're not listening to me. It's the second
I'm
time.
not. I'm fucking terrible. What did you say?
I said an 8.
An 8. You said an 8. Sorry, my apologies. I think I've heard of it. Yeah, it came out last year on PC. Was in my top 5 games. 7. Sophie said, I'm being rude. My brain's just going terrible. Very rude. So there you go. My brain's exited because of tonight's show just being, yes, interesting. So there you go. Any more scores, folks? Last chance. This is Angerfoot. It's already out on PC. It's been out for over a year on PC now. But this came out on PlayStation 5 last Tuesday. And the question is, it scored on PC 8 out of 10 on our show. Now, they have said there's a few little glitches on release, but nothing too bad, nothing to spoil the game.
Yeah.
And that means that on PlayStation 5, sitting right now, but the score could change, it's actually a little bit lower because it got a 7.5. A little bit lower, 7.5. So LeBraze, congratulations, you got it right. Bondi, you got it right. Congratulations. So can we get shout outs for them? Well done. Well done to both of you. But yeah, still a great game. But maybe wait a week or two and they'll sort it out. But it'll probably the score of that will probably go back up, I would have thought, with that. So go check it out. There you go. Right. So now the bit of the show that I didn't really want to do, but it was kind of a bit of a slap in the face the back end of last week because a lot of shit hit the fan. So we're going to talk about this for a considerable amount of time, actually. Last week, we had the comment about the fact that, no worries, Sophie, take care, good night. We had the comment about the fact that Microsoft don't seem to know what they're doing. Also, Bondi's good night. And it clearly looks like they don't have a fucking clue what they are doing because they have laid off in the last week 9,000 employees. Over 4 times over 18 months. There's been massive layoffs and lots of games cancelled as of last week, which is just shocking. Phil Spencer put out a statement which was frankly, I'm going to say this now, insulting because of the fact that he basically just was going on about how the growth of the company is going, and they're doing things to make the company, succeed and blah blah blah. And I was like, you have completely missed the point, and it pissed a lot of people off. Technically, despite Xbox's failures being the third best console behind PlayStation 5 and behind the original Switch, they have had 5% growth year on year since 2020, but that is only 5%. And that has mainly been down to Game Pass subscriptions, the Call of Duty franchise, because they now own it, and Minecraft. But their hardware sales are plummeting and have been plummeting since 2020. So the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S has not done well. We know that they've got the deal with Rogue Ally for the new handheld consoles that will be coming out. But generally, hardware systems have failed. They've also backtracked and said that there will be another Xbox console somewhere down the line. There will be no half-gen refresh, but there will be something, when the PlayStation 6 comes out, I guess there will be another Xbox console. But the question is, how can this continue to succeed? Because this is what's happened in the last week. The Initiative, one of the studios that has been with Xbox or Microsoft for quite some time, was working on the brand new Perfect Dark reboots. Now, obviously, Rare had the original Perfect Dark games that were on Xbox 360 and the Nintendo N64. But this was then given to the Initiative, and we saw some footage a couple of years ago when it was announced. And then last year, at the Summer Showcase, we saw some more footage, and it looks like a really cool first-person detective/shooter game. And then everyone was asking why there was no more footage from that game at this Summer Showcase, literally 2 weeks ago. And the answer is because they've canned it. It has been completely scrapped, and everyone from the Initiative has been laid off. The next big thing, there has been a number of layoffs from one of their probably most successful studios for them, Rare, based down the road from us. No, they haven't sacked anyone from Sea of Thieves, but the game that was due to be a successor to Sea of Thieves, Everwild, which actually was first announced back in 2015, so nearly 10 years ago, but we've seen very little of over these 10 years, and especially in the last 5 years, we've seen no footage or anything from it. They've basically sacked all the people that have worked on that from Rare, and that game has now been cancelled. It's interesting because Rare has been a massive success for Microsoft with Sea of Thieves, with over 40 million players playing that game, and it actually being one of PlayStation 5's best-selling games when it got ported over to PlayStation 5 last year. Then ZeniMax have been working on the 2018 a game since 2018, which was a brand new unnamed MMO game project. That has been cancelled. And 70 staff have been laid off from Turn 10. If you don't know who Turn 10 are responsible for Forza Motorsport. Not Forza Horizon, but Forza Motorsport. And 70 people have been laid off from there. And also Microsoft own King, which is maybe a mobile game company, best known for Candy Crush. Another 200 people have been laid off from there. That's not all, because obviously what they just stated was the 5% growth was due to Game Pass, due to Call of Duty and Minecraft. Yet it hasn't stopped them basically cutting staff from every studio that is connected to Call of Duty. There's about 5 or 6 different studios that work on different COD games, and they've all had layoffs. Now, what's interesting is the Call of Duty games have failed to actually make profits over the last couple of years. And some of them have been, some of the productions have cost millions, and they've not even managed to get that amount back in sales of the games, even though they still sit in like the best free games sold every year, sometimes the top selling games of the year. but they've not recouped their losses. They do get it through microtransactions eventually, but generally, it's not making the money. So I'm going to read the comments that people are putting in a minute. But here's the thing. Over 9,000 employees over the last 18 months, closing other well-known studios that have been made games that have won awards, cancelling games that were probably going to be something that would actually make, and this is what we were talking about last week, making a company on a console that has no decent exclusives, and they're getting rid of their exclusive games. And you're kind of sitting here going, what the fuck are you doing? And it's almost like they're kind of relying on their staple things, which are Gears of War, Halo, and if I can think of any others, I don't know, because even State of Decay 3 has been lost. We don't know what is going on with that. And I know you've got the Forza games, and Forza, again, has sold very well on PlayStation, but you're kind of going, so some of your really well-known games are now on other platforms, and your main staples, we got no dates for some of these games. I know there's a Gears of War E-Day, but there's no sign of a new Halo. Fable got delayed again, and you're kind of like, what are they doing? So, Dave, I'll get your opinion. I'll show everything that's been said in chat.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think sort of Microsoft as a whole seems to be sort of trying to sort of reposition themselves and make themselves look good for shareholders, because there's a lot of talk about them, really looking to invest a shit ton of money in like AI. And that's going to be like their thing that's going to make tons of money in the future. And, they're that big. I think they've kind of get to the point where, all these workers that they've got across the world all these years, they're just numbers. Somebody stupidly high up is getting paid a ridiculous amount, just looks at sheets and says, right, we need to get rid of like 10% of the workforce, whatever it was. So like sort of reposition ourselves, make it ourselves look attractive for the shareholders. So they just do it. And they just, that all filters down. Then, people below, management below have to then, just go and fire all the people across the studios, which just feels shitty really, because Microsoft make a ton of money. You would think they wouldn't need to fire all these people, but they do just seem to do this. They're not the only company, that does this. All the big ones seem to just have a bit of a cull every now and again, don't they? Just make themselves more attractive to shareholders, make it look like there's more growth there than there possibly was without doing this. It's just a bit of a shitty practice that I don't think will stop. We'll just carry on.
Yeah,
but it's a shame for the people that it's happened to. Hopefully they get new jobs. It's a shame for these like games that were sounding quite good. Although I do think Microsoft have probably been a bit too hands off with some of the studios. Like I don't think Rare should have been allowed to like meander for like 10 years and ever.
Yeah,
if you haven't got the idea there in like 18 months, 2 years, fuck it off. You're never going to get it, I think. Same with Perfect Dark. I mean, Perfect Dark, I wouldn't call it that big a franchise either. They had one good game on the N64. The 360 game was terrible.
Yeah.
And again, that's been allowed to meander for years at the Initiative, who were made to create that game. Again, they should have been a bit more hands-on to get it moving, get it out. Because they've had too many games where they've just been in development for too long. And then they just seem to, at this point, they've canned them off because it's not worth spending more, hundreds of millions more on them, even if they were looking good, like that ZeniMax MMO that apparently Phil Spencer was playing for ages. Had to like pull the controller out of his hand. But maybe they looked at that and thought, it's good, but will it actually be popular when it comes out? Will it sell? Will people be interested? Because it would probably have been for a new franchise, not something that's known. And at the moment, a lot of these AAA studios just seem to be relying on the well-known franchises. We got a new Battlefield coming out that EA are pinning their hopes on. There's going to be Call of Duty. You mentioned like Halo, Gears, Forza. It's not that exciting, really, is it? I mean, as much as I like Halo, it hasn't been that good since Bungie left it.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether a new game will actually be any good. They can try, but times have kind of moved on since Halo was good in its heyday.
Yeah.
We'll see. Same with like Forzas. I mean, they've let a lot of people go at turn 10, and I've seen a lot of rumours saying that Motorsport might be dead as a franchise because of that, but that hasn't been officially said at all. But there's bound to be another Horizon. But are we excited for yet another Horizon? I've kind of played them to death. I know what I'd be getting with a new one. It'd just be more of the same again. The open world, lots of stuff to do and race around. The big franchises aren't really that exciting. I think everyone hits franchise fatigue with something. I know I got that way with the Walking Dead TV series. 6 seasons of that, had enough. Never watched it since. Gets the same with some of these games. Like, I've already played it. I don't want to play the same thing again. But that's what they seem to be falling back on, just because, you know, they think the franchises will just keep making money.
It's not the case. People get bored of shit.
Guaranteed. Yeah, but it's nice to have new, exciting stuff to play. So it'd be nice if they could, you know, get some smaller projects going in some of these studios that can, you know, have smaller budgets, smaller turnaround times, just get stuff made and get it out. So it's new and different, not just drags on for years and then has too much expectation behind it to try and make all its money back, which they're not going to do. They cost like hundreds and hundreds of millions at the minute. All those just seem to be failing.
It's worrying. I'm going to read some of the comments. I think this is the first time where I've kind of gone. So we were saying on this show last week, where like the lady was saying, Microsoft haven't got a clue what they're doing, but maybe they'll pull it out of the bag because it's their 25th anniversary next year. So maybe they're going to surprise us all. I'm sitting here going, they ain't got a fucking chance. They've got no chance. This is the first time I'm sitting here going, shit, I feel ashamed that my favorite console is Xbox right now.
I think the next console will be their last one. I just can't see them doing another one after this. Yeah, I think they'll just move to be a publisher like Sega did.
Yeah, I can't see me getting their new console now because
I see the need for it now because you say there's no exclusives anymore, and it's the exclusives that have always driven people to platforms.
Yeah,
I've followed franchises to other platforms in the past. I went GameCube for Resident Evil 4, so I knew that was going to be on there. I used to follow stuff around, but it's no point for Xbox now. I can just stick with PC, you know, or I'll just go and get PlayStations. At least Sony's still got some exclusives. Take me over there. Yeah.
Let's see what people are saying in chat. Dan Game Tank said, I'm getting to the point where I feel Microsoft has damaged the industry more than it ever helped. Quick man, everyone's just getting Game Pass on PC. Yeah, apparently it's like the biggest selling thing. Game Pass PC is well exceeding expectations for Microsoft, apparently. If you are a dev studio and Microsoft wants to buy you, this is the final conclusion proof that you should always say no. Agree. Internal reports were that Everwild looks incredible. Wish we'd actually seen something of it.
Yeah, we never even knew what type of game it was.
No,
never a clue.
That MMO was also considered to be shaping up really good. Yeah, but it's been canned. They essentially went, "Wow, this looks great. You're fired. Throw it in the bin." John Romero's game project got axed last week as well. So his wife, Brenda Romero, obviously John Romero, famous for the original Doom games. They had a new project that they were working with, and the whole thing got fucking shit canned, and the whole team got laid off. Yeah.
Although I seem to say it's not quite as bad. There are other publishers they're talking to, so it could.
They might get it resurrected because they're a small.
Yeah, it's still a little bit iffy for them though, so we'll have to see. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it says, Romero made a statement, he said, for legal reason, we can't name who did this to us, but, you know, of course we fucking know who it is.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty obvious.
He's just being polite. After what they did to Tango post Hi-Fi Rush, I know, but at least Tango Gameworks has been bought, thank God. So at least they got them, so we might outperforming every single expectation. Just nothing to expect. No matter how well you do, you'll be fired to make them look marginally better for the fiscal quarter. And they've just got Helldivers 2 on Xbox. Well, that lands end of August. But it was on PlayStation and PC February last year. So it's been out. It'll be nearly out a year and a half until it's come to Xbox. It must be the people behind the product. It's probably just bad at managing. No, I think they probably are churning out games that are good, but then they're looking at it and going, this is costing us too much because now this has cost us so many millions and yet the game is still not finished. So we're just going to can it because it's cheaper to can it than let it go for another 5 years without it being released. They're talking about GTA 6 is probably going to be the first billion-dollar game. It will probably make its money back. I'm not going to say unless it's an absolute dirge of a toilet game, like they really fuck it up. But I can't see Rockstar doing that. But other games don't make their budgets back. That's very clear. I mean, Spider-Man 2 is still trying to make its budget back, and that's been out nearly 2 years. That's fucking worrying. And that game was magnificent. It's a real sour taste for the sake of AI advancements. You are still profiting yet releases. Now, I think I'm generally done. I'm moving fully to Linux. I like to call it the illusion of growth. There's no fucking growth. Mass firing is just to claim you are growing to shareholders. That's just not really growth, is it? No. I feel like ever since Major Nelson left it, Xbox is different. I'm going to be honest, I didn't fucking like Major Nelson. That's my own opinion, but yeah, he did my head in. That'll be a lot. They should have cancelled a lot of this stuff over the last 10 years, but they've gone and done it, which looks worse. Yeah, they should have known these projects aren't working out. The amount of money invested in AI that they aren't really monetizing yet, making big saves in an industry that doesn't make that much money, is probably an easy decision for them. EA have told DICE they want 100 million players in the new Battlefield. I'm not kidding you. This is a sales expectation. And considering the last Battlefield...
It ain't going to get that. I think
the last Battlefield released badly.
Now, so even if this one releases in a perfect state, the most
they're not going to hit
Battlefield ever had in past, I think, top of 30 million players. So I don't see how they can possibly expect to get 100 million with the history. I mean, if it comes out well and gets a lot of players, it will do well. But, you know, if they're going to put that sort of expectation against it, then they're just going to class it a failure. It's like Square Enix always saying stuff never met their expectations, even if the game was good. I don't know what their expectations were. They were fucking realistic.
Arkane says, I thought you were Team Xbox all the way. I was until this got announced. I quite think they need to go fuck themselves at the moment, which I don't think I've ever said on this show. I used to rip the shit out of Sony, and now I'm kind of regretting it. They have the cheek to price hike Game Pass again. Yes, and put the prices of all their consoles up. So the Xbox Series X and the S are now more expensive than they were when they come out.
They'll definitely increase Game Pass again because everything goes up in price. You see the other TV streamers all go up. So Game Pass will go up.
I've already read that.
About it.
It's just frustrating wanting good games in a healthy industry. I'm not paying $1 billion for any game. 77 quid for Mario Kart was bad enough. True.
Yep.
But at least that was a decent game and has actually sold well. The new Battlefield could be the best first-person shooter ever created, and 100 million sales is not reasonable to expect. Agreed. I remember the days of being a big Xbox 360 head and shitting on the PS3. My life has changed.
That was their heyday, wasn't it? The Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And then Don Matrix shat the bed with the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Fucking shit console that was.
So there you go. We will talk about some other things, but this is the state of Microsoft right now, and it's not a good state, and it's worrying. But moving on to some happier things. Dare I say it? 5 weeks tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, probably one of the best gaming events of the year. Or at least I fucking hope it will be, because we're putting a lot of work into it. It's Timeless, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, I'm Middle-Aged Gamer Guy, and I'm very excited to announce that Timeless 2025 is coming to Liverpool here at the Canes Brewery. There you go, folks. Timeless is 5 weeks tomorrow, and if you're going to the VIP evening, it'll be 5 weeks tonight, which is scary. I can say I've been speaking to the lads from Did You Know Gaming, and they've been telling me what they've got lined up for their evening entertainment and quiz. It's going to be quite funny. It's going to be quite good, and it does involve some other of our guests that are on earlier on in the day in the show. I'm not going to give it away. We're hoping to have the lads from Did You Know Gaming on the show because they've not been on for a couple of years, so hopefully we'll unveil that. But it's looking really, really good. That's all I'm going to say for that. Plus, we've got a couple of other things to announce. Hopefully, next week we'll be announcing all our exhibitors while I'm away in America. I know we'll get some announcements out there for stuff, so we'll be announcing stuff. Chaotic has got a question. Chaotic is asking, I have a timeless question. Again, that's all right. I'm a content creator, but I got 2 VIP tickets, one for me and one for my other half. Can I use what was my VIP ticket now and give it to, say, his friend, or will I still need a VIP ticket? No, because technically being a content creator is the same as a VIP, but you don't get the goodie bag. So if you want to keep the goodie bag but give them the ticket, we're more than happy for you to do that, Chaotic, because you technically get in. So then your friend can also come to the VIP night as well. So you would only get 2 VIP bags, but your friend could take your ticket because technically you've got 2 tickets. Hope that makes sense. LeBray says, not giving things away. Who are you and what have you done with Mag? That'll be telling. There you go. Yeah, cool. That's fine. I want to clarify. That's absolutely fine. We have no problem with that. Obviously, when you come to claim the tickets, as long as you turn up with your friend and then give the name, because obviously if they give their name, we won't have that, and then they can't claim their ticket. We'll be like, sorry, you haven't got a ticket. So just make sure you do that. That would be cool. But there you go. Get your tickets now. There is, if Jesse might back me this up, last night we said there was 25 VIP tickets left. I think there's only 24 because we sold one this afternoon, I think. It's only 24 VIP tickets left for that. So go join us with the likes of Jason Bradbury, What Culture, Ashens, Did You Know Gaming, Ash Millman, and Slopes, the wonderful Slopes, amongst other people, the wonderful Tomb Raider panel, and some more stuff that we are announcing. So there you go. There you go. Let's move on to our final game, but not the end of the show, just so people don't go, what the fuck? This game hasn't come out yet, but the reviews have already landed. They actually landed yesterday. And this is something, this ties in nicely because this is something we're going to be setting as a challenge at Timeless Gaming Convention. Because last year we did Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 challenge. And this comes out on Friday on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, Switch, Switch 2, and PC. And we're running a competition for you to play this that you can win some prizes for at Timeless. And this is going to be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Let's have a look at the trailer for this. And we can tell you what the reviews are saying for a game that comes out on Friday, which is also landing on Game Pass. There you go. So we got 1 and 2 Pro Skater remastered, or remake, I should say, back in 2020. It was a massive success. And now we get 3 and 4, which comes out on Friday. Some people have got early access to it as well. And it will land on Game Pass. It's interesting because the last one landed on PS Plus. So this is interesting, but obviously the whole Activision thing, so that's why that's changed. So it comes to Game Pass on day one. But yes, Dave, tell us a little bit more about this one, because there are a few changes, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. So whilst Pro Skater 3 was similar in style to 1 and 2 in the way that it was structured, 4 was originally quite different. It was more of an open world where I think you skated around, picked up missions. That's been completely changed now. It's been sort of restructured to fit in with the original 3 games. So its gameplay structure is more like those, the sort of short sort of time attack, sort of skating around the levels to get like the best combo, best score. So they have changed 4 quite a bit. So it's not going to be as people remember, unfortunately. It's been made to fit in with the style of the other ones. But there's still, I think, a lot of fun to be had in it. If you like these games when they originally came out, you've still got a lot of the fun stuff in there. It's going to be fun trying to get the best combos, the best high scores in the levels. It looks good the way they've remastered it. They've titled up a number of levels. I don't think they brought every single one back, but they've added some new levels anyway to kind of make up for it, including one where you're in a pinball table and Tony Hawk is playing.
Tony was playing it, I quite like that.
So you've got to watch out for that pinball coming around because it will knock you off your skateboard if you're not careful. Well, that looks quite cool. They've got a good mix of the old skaters and newer skaters in there. So you've got your classics like Tony Hawk and Bam, obviously, and various new ones. I think, again, the soundtrack isn't quite as robust as like the previous one. I think just because I haven't been able to license as many tracks from the older soundtracks of 3 and 4, I think I've got about 10-ish.
10 out of the 50, which is compared to like the 40 out of the 50.
Yeah, a good number in the previous one. They were relicensed. Not for this one. So you got a lot of new tracks in it. I think probably still decent stuff, just not quite what you're going to remember if you played it originally. But apart from all that, you've got the options like this whole like create a park, create a skater, where you can make your own maps, I think, then share them around. And you've got multiplayer modes as well, which is all cross-platform, I believe. So you can do a bit of multiplayer with your friends, so you can get the best score. So if you liked the remakes of 1 and 2, you're probably gonna like the remakes of 3 and 4. Looks like it'd be pretty good fun.
Yeah. I like 1 and 2. I'll probably like this. I think some purists might not like this one as much because, as you said, they've changed 4 quite a bit.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah, but we'll see. Hello to Big Fuzzy Pandas here. Hi, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Chaotic said I had the biggest crush on Bam Margera, and now he looks like his dad. Yeah, well, they put him in as that. Jack Black is still in it as the police officer as well. And as you saw, they've added other things that you can unlock, such as Michelangelo from the Turtles and Doom Guy, and one of the Sentinels, which I thought was quite funny. So there you go. Yes, we are on Pro Skater 3 and 4. So, chat, get your scores in. What do you think this scored? What did the critics score this? Get your scores in now. I don't know if anyone. Oh, Manic got the first one in. 7.5 combos out of 10. LeBray saying an 8. Dave, we'll start with you because you're here. What do you reckon?
I'm here. Yeah, I'll go for a 7.5. Might get marked down for the changes they made to 4, I reckon.
Okay. All right. Dank is saying an 8.5. Icon says yes. Jack Black was Officer Dick and Constable Richard. Flame 7.5. Gozo 8.5. Icon 8.5. Get your scores in, folks. Any more scores for this? This is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 Remastered, which comes out on Friday. So we're ahead of ourselves for once. On PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, original Switch, Switch 2, and PC. Jesus, is getting my mouth full. So, but yeah, at least out. And it'll be on Game Pass as well. So there you go. Manic saying 8.5. Dave Johnson saying 8. Kindred saying 8. If there are no more scores, I can tell you that despite the changes of game number 4 and with the new additions and the soundtrack lacking compared to the first one, this has still done pretty good and gets. And I think this is one of these games that the score is going to go up again probably after time, because this got a good 8 out of 10.
Nice.
There you go. 8 out of 10. So Dave Johnson, congratulations. Kindred, congratulations. LeBraze, well done. You all got it right. So there you go. Personally, it's a 10 from me, says Quickman. But was going to say an 8.5. You be close. I think you give it a week, or you give it the release Friday and give it a week from Friday. I think that will go up to an 8.5. I have seen some reviews as high as 8.5, but it was kind of most reviewers, GameSpot, IGN, few others. I think Eurogamer gave it an 8 as well. So it was all pretty much, everyone was going for 8s. But yeah, some that were creeping up there. So that was a pretty good score. So there you go. Go try it out. If you haven't already got it or like pre-ordered it, it is out on Friday and on Game Pass. So there you go. Hello, Ems. Good evening. How are you? Good to see you. Pro Skater 3 is my top 5 video games ever. I even used to speedrun it. I'm so super excited. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So under a technicality, I was right, but not truly. No. I mean, yeah, you might be next week, Manic. You might be right next week, but right now, no. And Duncan says, and with that, I struck out on all 3. I know it's one of those. No, you know how I feel when we're trying to write the show. I literally struck out because there was no fucking games to review. There you go. Now, let's go on to our next news story, and then we're going to go to this other part of the show that we're going to talk about. So, final news story of the night, but we've got some other stuff because we're talking about some of the best rated games of 2025 so far. So, after it all broke out last week about Microsoft with the layoffs and the cancellations and everything else, and everyone getting pissed off, a couple of people have weighed in and said there is a massive problem with Microsoft, and that problem is Game Pass. And this came from the founder of Arkane. And Raphael was basically said that Game Pass is a massive issue. And he posted on Twitter and said, Game Pass is not making as much money as people are thinking, because the 5% revenue year on year is, as we talked about earlier, is a combination of Call of Duty, Minecraft, and Game Pass. And they said they can keep chucking money at it, which is what they're doing, because with all these layoffs and things. But one of two things is going to happen. Either it will kind of run out of steam and they realize that it's not as profitable as it is, or they will just keep throwing so much money at it that it will be the downfall of Microsoft, like in 10 years. A couple of other well people chimed in, and they're saying that Game Pass is changing the industry. One of the original founders of Epic Games, Joe Cryer, basically agreed. And Michael Dowse from Laverian Studios, from Baldur's Gate 3, who quite rightly said that Baldur's Gate 3 will never appear on Game Pass. And the reason they're saying that is that it massively impacts on sales of games. So if you're a big AAA studio, right, and you put your game on Game Pass, you are massively hemorrhaging money, right? However, other indie studios or smaller studios, it actually does benefit them because they do quite well. One of the biggest ones that is a good example is Sandfall, obviously responsible for Expedition 33 because they were only a small team based in France. Expedition 33 has gone on to be a million-selling game worldwide with tons of players and is in the running for Game of the Year in most companies' eyes right now. Okay, so they have done well because they are a smaller studio, but big studios cannot afford this, and it is literally hemorrhaging. These guys have turned around and said that actually, even though it's not as successful, PS Plus is a better model because PS Plus, yes, puts games out there, and yes, they get a lot of the same games that Xbox have, but they don't chuck their exclusives on there from day one. Therefore, the Sony exclusives sell well, generally, and then a couple of years down the line, they then put them onto PS Plus once the steam and the momentum of those sales has run out. And Microsoft don't do that. And they keep laying off these studios. And they're basically saying that Game Pass is the problem. So what do people think? Do they agree with, obviously, Arkane was completely destroyed. Arkane Leon, the people responsible for Prey and the Dishonored games. Obviously, after the debacle of Redfall, a load of people were laid off. And it's a shame because some of those other games were fantastic, but we know that Redfall wasn't great. But again, they were pushed into making a game that they didn't really want to make. They wanted to play a single player game, and they were told to make a multiplayer game, which sucked ass. So, do you agree? Dave, let's get your opinion, and I'll chime in again with chat on this.
It is hard, isn't it, how profitable Game Pass actually is, because Microsoft never really say.
Yeah.
But I did see a few articles, I think it might be from GameSpot, who were saying that when Microsoft are talking about how well it's doing, how profitable it is, they're not actually including the cost for their own AAA games in that number. It's just what they're paying out to third parties. So so a bit of a creative accountancy, perhaps, for the sound of it.
Yeah.
They report their figures, because probably if they threw all that in, because if you think about how much like the new Doom must have cost, that was made for a number of years, big AAA game, must have cost 100, 200 million, something stupid, I guess. It must have cost a lot. And they spent tons of money on other games. Halo Infinite must have cost them a load. Same like Forza Horizon 5. They're expensive games to make. And you can't quite see how X number of million people paying, I don't know what, 15, say 50 quid, $20 a month, can really add up to cover all that. And the third party stuff, it just doesn't really seem to work out.
Yeah.
But then you get the companies making so much money, they can afford to just keep funneling money into these things. It's like Epic Games with the Epic Store. They keep giving away free games every week to tempt people to come to their store. Yeah. I think I own about 400 games on the Epic Store.
Fucking hell, okay.
I have paid for 2. Right. I just go along every week and claim the free game, and then I never play it. So I've got a stupid number on their store. It's free. I'm having it.
Yeah.
I'm never going to play it. But you got to think, it must get to a point at some point where someone was just going to look at these numbers and think, why are we still doing this? It's not worth it. So we might get to the point where they're either going to keep increasing the price to a point where people are going to go, I don't want to pay this much. I'd rather just cancel it and buy the odd game every once in a while that I'm actually going to play. Because that's what I kind of found with Game Pass. There's all this stuff there, and I just wasn't really getting around to playing it. Down to time for me.
Yeah.
Play all of these games that pop in the service. I kind of just thought, I'm not going to bother. I'll just buy the odd game occasion that I actually have got the time for, or go back to games from 2-3 years ago and play those instead. But I just can't see how it can really work out, especially with something like Call of Duty, which would make a stupid amount of money day one, like £60-70 a time.
Yeah.
Can it make that much money when it's on Game Pass and they're losing a load of sales? I know it's going to put their Game Pass numbers up subscriber-wise.
Yeah, but apart from that,
surely it's going to hit the bottom line on the games, the big AAA ones. It just seems that it must do.
Okay, let's see what some of the chat are doing. I have very bizarre feelings with the whole situation. John Unicycle, good evening. Says, honestly, I love the downfall of Microsoft, but that would be better for them is to do what they did with the OG Xbox. Also, hi. Quickman says, I have PS Plus, and generally, the games I download from it are the occasional games that I missed from a few years back. See, I don't think PS Plus is anywhere near as good as Game Pass, because you tend to find that whatever they chuck off Game Pass then ends up on PS Plus. Now, having both consoles, that's probably that view. If you're only a PlayStation player, PS Plus probably looks absolutely amazing, I'm going to say. But then they do get some really good Game Pass games as a user that I'm like, damn, I would never pay for that because on PlayStation, because I can get that on Game Pass. The new Doom being one of them. But then you kind of go, yeah, but then when they do bring the Sony exclusives to PS Plus a couple of years down the line, it's still great. Like like last year, we got the second God of War, Ragnarok. I was like, great, and there's other games, The Last of Us. So I would have never got to play any of them if it wasn't for PS Plus. So it's pros and cons. It feels like just going, hey, get out our new AAA banger on launch day for zero money. Being an issue should have been obvious. Clearly not to them. There were a very interesting video from Scott that was talking about how Game Pass was basically made to trick us all into going all digital, and it's kind of made, and in some ways it has. There's so many games that I've got that are digital that I've not bought because of Game Pass, and I'll probably never buy because of Game Pass. So it's true. Scott's generally too lost in Nintendo sauce for me, but he was bang on. I think he's right. Also, Mag with a fresh cut. Thank you. Yeah, I've had shave and a haircut, so there you go. I look 10 years younger. That's very kind of you to say, Ems. Why are we still doing this just to suffer? True. I'd rather just buy a game or two every month. True. I just buy my games from Walmart. Bargain bin. That's perfectly fine as well. I still buy physical games from Game Collection because I want to. You know, I am not going to get a free copy of the new Donkey Kong game. I am going to buy it from Game Collection. So I've got it. I've got to keep it. However, I'm probably going to get the new RoboCop DLC free. But I don't know if I'm going to get a physical copy or a digital copy. I got the original RoboCop Rogue City digital, so I don't actually own that. Well, I do, but I don't, if you see what I mean. So it's one of those things.
You own the license for it.
Yeah, I own the license. Yeah, but once it's gone, it's gone. But there you go. I don't disagree with the hate on Microsoft because of how they are, but it's funny how we're basically saying PlayStation is doing well because of its exclusives, considering all the delayed game releases and billions cost to Microsoft because they were moaning about monopolies. True, that's a fair shout. Bought a physical copy of FF7 Rebirth second hand for 28 quid. That was way better than buying 2 months of Game Pass, in your opinion. That's fine. I'm not a fan of that game. Dave was a bit mixed on it. But if you feel you got money for value for it, not knocking you.
You can't go wrong.
You can't. Yeah, I think that's absolutely fine. I'm the PlayStation guy. I loved it, and it's got great titles to play. Yeah, again, not knocking PlayStation anymore. I think they're back to their A game. I only have the core memberships of both. So that's fair, you know. PS though still gives me monthly games. True. Whereas core is only like every 3 months, and then they add a splattering of stuff, and it's not a lot. PS though, so I just read that. PS Plus had Yakuza Kiwami the month I got my PS4, and it's because of that almost a decade later, Yakuza is one of my favourite franchises. Love those games. Cool. I still got a CX in town for as long as that'll last. I know, because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Game stores are disappearing. I'm so excited to be around the CEX again. We'll take you to the one in Liverpool. It took me weeks to find a boxed copy of Expedition 33, but it was worth the wait not to have it digitally. True, I kind of wish I had one now, but obviously I played it on Game Pass. Ironically, I got sent a copy from Kepler, but then it's also on Game Pass, so it's a bit like, and then they sent me copies to give away, as you know, because some of you won them, but they weren't physical copies, so it was like, so yeah, but there you go. I love it. Talk shit about Final Fantasy, so knock it and die. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. PS Plus is enough for me. In fact, it's still too much. Rebirth did a bit too much padding, to be fair. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that.
A lot of padding.
That's what Dave said. Losing my game in August. You lose Game Pass in August. You're losing your game store in August. Shit, okay. The one in Liverpool is 2 floors. Dude, we're going to go and check that out. Don't forget Smith's. Yeah, this toy shop does sell some good games. I remember buying Doom 2016 physical copy from Smith's because it was the cheapest place to get it. I think I got it for 22 quid on day of release. I was quite proud of that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was cool. There you go. Anyway, there you go. We're not going to get into this conversation because we did this a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, we had Game Station, Game 6, and Telltale 6. All that standing. There you go. Have you never been to Liverpool one? No. So we will go together during Unicycle after Timeless, and then we'll go for lunch and what have you. So that'll be good on the Thursday. So that is it for the main show. We've got about half an hour left. So because of the lack of games and stuff, we wanted to do something special with this show. We are now, believe it or not, halfway through the year. How, I don't know. We are halfway through the year. Yeah, and obviously, at the start of the year, we do a thing where we talk about the 50 games that you might want to play. And some of those games have already been out. Some of those games are due to come out. Some of those games have been delayed, as you know. But we don't always... Scotty Lad, thank you for the follow. We don't always talk about games that get announced halfway through the year, and then we kind of talk them at the end of the year and blah, blah, blah. But we don't ever talk about also what has been a success and what has rated well. We've talked about all that during Unicycle. I'm not even going to go back on that. One had a game out. It's crazy to think it's halfway in the year. Indeed. So, evening, Reprobate. How are you doing as well? Hello, everyone is well. Be lurking tonight. No worries. Thank you, Reprobate. So, we're going to do 2 things. I'm going to show you the list of the 20 best reviewed games of 2025 so far. This list is from Metacritic, okay? We're going to go through it. What's interesting is there's games that we've talked about on this very show, and there are games that I've never heard of that we've not even covered. So what I'm then going to do then is get you lot to guess a list of 14 games from another reputable source that they have classed as their best 14 games of this year so far. And you're going to see how different it is. So again, you may agree with it, may not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the screen. So this is based on this first one is based purely on scores from reviewers on Metacritic. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the screen. Can I bring up the entire screen? We can do that. So here we go. So this is from anything that's got 84%, or if you're on our show, 8.5, because we round them up or round them down, upwards. So anything below that is not featured in this list. So the first one they've got is Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist, which I know we talked about on the show. This was the sequel to Ender Lilies, Quietest of the Nights, which came out in 2021. This was their 20th best rated game. A game that we talked about and I played, which I thoroughly enjoyed, was Keep Driving, which came out on the PC, which was the weird RPG game where you're trying to get to a festival.
Look at this. Definitely one I want to try.
I really, really liked it and really enjoyed it. Oh, I've heard of Keep Driving. That's on my backlog. Play it. I really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll come up to your list in a bit. Please note that these games are up to the end of June. So anything that's come out in the last, July, isn't going to be included. Okay, but this is up to the end of June, so it's halfway point. 2 Point Museum, which again, I thoroughly enjoyed. 2 Point Museum, which came out in March. Obviously, the successor to 2016's 2 Point Hospital and 2020's 2 Point Campus. This was the third one in line where you build a museum. Got a 84% review score. Still great. Still haven't finished that yet. So that's another game that's in my backlog. That's number 18. A game that we talked about literally a couple of weeks ago with an 85% score that alters the game where you are crash land on a space planet and all your crew is dead. And literally you have to reclone yourself or different versions of yourself. Not as in a normal clone, but as in as different history variations or multiverses. Really like that game. That was number 17. iQuell said none of these have come up so far. Dan says need to play Museum. A game that I don't think we talked about, but we might have. Dave might correct me. The 100 Line Last Defense Academy. This was on Nintendo Switch and also PC. And it's an RPG.
We did or not now?
I don't think
JRPG. Yeah, I might have brushed it off the list. If it was,
I think we might have brushed it off. Yeah, but it got really good reviews and it's got 85%. So there. This one, never heard of. Starvaders.
Oh, I've heard of this. I think I knocked this off the list one week because I just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah,
it didn't look that interesting to me.
Oh yeah, so it's a daggone roper mark. It's a tactical RPG combined with a visual novel. Okay. Yeah, I think we knocked that list. I think we knocked this one off the list as well. I don't remember this one. This is a grid-based tactical combat game. And it's cartoony indie style, but rated really high. A game that got rated higher than its original game that we talked about. 2022's Citizen Sleeper, the sequel came out this year. This got 86%. Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector, got rave reviews. I really enjoyed the first game, but I haven't played this one yet.
So I get around to this one. I haven't finished the first one. I didn't finish that.
A game that's no surprise with 86%, Mario Kart World, which came out last month on the Switch 2. The Switch 2's leading game to launch the console. 86% on Mario Kart World. Great game as well. As I said, I've been playing a lot of that over the weekend. Next, don't know a thing about this. The Root Trees Are Dead. Apparently a detective agency game that came out in January on PC on Steam.
Yeah, I've heard of this. It's meant to be pretty good. If you like these sort of detective style ones, I think there's a lot of reading you got to do in it. You got like a sort of old style internet that you can use within the game because you got to try and track down who the heirs are to the Root Trees estate. So you got to like build a family tree, work out who should be in line for it. Yeah, so I think it's meant to be good, but not for everyone. Apparently,
it started as a browser-based game in 2023, and then they've turned it into a full-blown detective agency game. But yeah, 86% on that one. A game that we did talk about, and I played and thoroughly enjoyed. I think we even gave a copy of this game away. The sequel to Lonely Mountain Downhill, Lonely Mountain Snow Riders. This got 87%. So this is a sequel to the 2020 cycling game, but now you're skiing. This is also on Game Pass. It's worth checking out. That was great fun. Love that a lot. A game that we talked about that we knew nothing about but got rave reviews. We talked about this when I think Ash Millman was on the show a couple of weeks back. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. This came out on PC and got rave reviews, 87%. And this is one I really want to try. It looks absolutely fantastic. Looks really, really good. A game we decided to skip, which came out literally a couple of weeks ago, Monster Train 2 on PC, 87%. We didn't talk about this one.
Those are the roguelike deck builder.
Yeah, roguelike deck builder. We just went, you know what, we've talked about too many of them, so we skipped it. But it got rave reviews, 87%. A game that I have thoroughly championed and liked a lot in number 8, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which came out back in February. Absolutely adored this game. I need to finish this. It deserves every accolade that it's getting. It's so good. So yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Next, a game that we did talk about, but I've not played, and I know a few of you played. Monster Hunter Wilds 2, 88%. This did really, really well. I know this got high scores on our show, but not played this one. Not a big Monster Hunter fan, but I know a lot of people are. So
not a series for me either.
No. But I think it was one that actually brought in a lot of new players because it was one that it quite welcomed new people in, and that's why it's done so well. So there you go. This one, again, talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Only, I think, one of the ones that's a remaster or reimagining, the Talos Principle, based on the 2014 classic game, and being sort of adds new expansion packs and other stuff and new content within the existing puzzles. It's got 89% from the reviewers. So it did really, really well. So there you go. Now, this was one we talked about, and this surprised everybody. This was the first-person game where you kick a football around, Desperate, and everyone was like, "Oh, it looks all right, but won't score much." And this literally got 89% overall. I think 8.5 on our show, and everyone went,
probably,
"Really?"
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected this to be so high. I'd kind of forgotten about it completely.
Yeah.
Since we talked about it whenever it was.
Yeah.
Number 5 so far.
So this was made by the people that brought you Thank Goodness You're Here, which obviously was in my top 5 games, and Untitled Goose Game from Panic. And this was their next game. Set in, funny enough, hopefully where I'm going to be heading off to in a week's time, Ecuador in 2001. But yeah, really, really well. Our top 4, a game we talked about last week. Now, this, as I said, the scores have gone up for this. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Loads of people saying that this is far superior to the original game, getting rave reviews, and is the 4th best rated game, as you can see there. Number 3, Split Fiction.
Love it.
Yes.
Fantastic game.
Hazelight coming back again. Will it be as award-winning as It Takes Two? We will have to find out. But certainly a fantastic game, sitting at 91%, which is pretty damn amazing. And our final 2, a game that I also loved very much, Blueprints, which again was a day one Game Pass game, puzzle game where you have to try and get to one room in a house, but the house changes every day, and you've only got so many days before that room is locked. Really love this. This is sitting at 92%. Great game.
Yeah, I need to get back to that myself.
Yeah. And finally, number 1, and no surprises here, sitting at 93%, Claire Obscura Expedition 33, the runaway hit from April, from Sandfall Entertainment and published by our friends at Kepler Interactive. Absolutely fantastic game. And if this doesn't win a shitload of awards, I will eat my T-shirt. I don't know. I'm not wearing a hat. I was going to say.
We'll hold you to that.
Yeah, I will eat a T-shirt.
Everyone remember he said that.
Yeah, hopefully it'll win some awards now as I'm in the shit. But let's have a look. Let's see what people are saying. Death Stranding 2 should have called that. Yeah, did really well. I actually want to play Death Stranding 2 now. Didn't want to play.
I've heard very good things about it.
I really want to play that now. Playing Expedition 33 right now, it's restored so much faith in gaming for me. I was really struggling with newer stuff, not being very engaged. It's so good. I love that game so much, and I fucking hate RPGs. That says it all. If that doesn't sell it, I don't know what. Mario Kart Downhill are fun. The yo-yo one looks good. Other than that, not much for me. Interesting. Yeah. See, Deltarune 3 and 4 has not made the list, but they did kind of get rated quite highly, but not high enough to make that list. Might be in the top 30. I don't know. M says amazing game, and I've not even played this. Expedition 33. So there you go. So that is the list from review scores from all the critics that Metacritic has compiled. Now, as we've got the last 15 minutes show, we like to play guessing games in this. I have put together a guessing game. Another well-known gaming company, I'm not going to say because people could then go look up and see what they've listed. So I'm not going to say what it is, has done a list of this is not based on reviews, on their 14 best games of this year. I'll give you a clue. Some of them are in the list that we just saw, but some aren't. And what I'm going to say to you is I'm going to get you, Dave, and chat to guess, but I'm going to get you to take it in turns. So Dave gets to guess one, then whoever says chat, and I'll go for the list and blah, 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 until we cover all 14. This is in no specific order, though. Okay, this one. So, Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon is in their top 14 first half of the year?
I'm going to try and remember what other stuff came out. Oh, let's try the Oblivion remaster. Is that in there?
No. So, chat, give me a game. Claire Obscura Expedition 33. Yes. So that's one. Correct, Danker. So that's one. That's in there. Dave, have a guess. I know you're looking up games, but I'm not going to hold that against you because it doesn't mean you're going to get it right. So
no, I've got a note of the list you've just gone through.
Yeah.
Let's try Blueprints from that list. I would have thought that might make it on there. Yes,
so that's two. Blueprints is in the list. Quickman says Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm just going to quickly through because that was in the other list. No, Monster Hunter Wilds is not in that list. Mario Kart World, said iQuail. Yes, so that's 3. So, Dave, your turn.
Let's try Citizen Sleeper.
Let's have a quick look. No. Chat. This is going to be interesting. Deltarune 3 and 4. No. Dave.
I think what else has been out. Actually, I'll go for Death Stranding 2 off the list.
Correct. That's 4. So there's 10 more to go. Chat. What's this about, may I ask? Oh, you've missed out. Can someone explain it to Gozzo, please? Quick man. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza? No. Dave, your turn. But I love that game, by the way.
The Altars?
Correct. The Altars is in there. So that's now 5. 9 to go. Chat, your turn. While I crack open a drink. Give us a game. I know there's ads, but give us a game, chat, because we've got to keep it moving because we'll just waste time. Chat, give me a game.
Are they all stuck on ads so they can't hear you?
They can't be because there's people sub to the channel. So that's
well, they're all deep in thought trying to remember what else has come out this year.
Yeah. If not, I'm just going to hand it back to you, Dave. Go on then.
I'll tell you. I'll try Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Correct. That's it. Kingdom Come Deliverance is 2, so that's 6. So it's interesting. It says ads, but it says ads are not showing, I think. Has anyone said Death Stranding 2?
Yes, I did say that one.
Yes, that's included. Yeah. Says 8 more to go.
Let's have a think. Let's try. Remember that rematch that came out the other week? That make it on there?
No, that's not on there. Rematch is not there. Chat, give us another guess. For those who missed it, we said Expedition 33. And Rematch is not on there. I doubt it, but Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, no, not on there. iQuell says Doom. Yes. Weirdly, Doom the Dark Ages is on there.
Surprising.
Which surprised me because this certain company didn't give it a great review. And I thought that was quite interesting. So I'm surprised it was in there, top 14. Assassin's Creed Shadows, says Jesse. I'm actually going to state this criminally, no. Because it did get really good reviews. It's not on there. South of Midnight, also criminally, no. So, Dave, pick another one.
I'm trying to think what else is. Let's try that Talos Principle from the other list.
No,
is that made on this one?
That's not on their list. No, Shadows came out in April. 100 Line Last Defense Academy, no. Keep guessing.
Right. You might start giving us some little hints on trying to remember what else.
Yeah, do you know what? You've got 8 more to go. M says Split Fiction. Correct. Split Fiction. LeBray says Your Mum, the game. Correct. No, it's not there. Sorry. Berserk Boy. No, that came out last year. Gozzo. Not going to be included. Berserk Boy came out last year. Already said Death Stranding 2. That's already in there. But yeah, LeBray, that's going to be the game of the year. So
Civilization 7. Maybe they're like a bit of strategy.
No. Ironically, they put Civilization 7 in their top 10 most disappointing games of the year. Interesting enough. WWE 2K25. No. Elden Ring Night Rain. Yes. Well done, Quickman. Elden Ring Night Rain. So I think you've only got. Let's have a look. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. 5 to go. Liza P. No, Liza P. DLC did not get in there. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered was last year. Does not count. Indiana Jones The Great Circle last year. Does not count. Lost Records. No. MLB The Show. No. Manic, we've already said Elden Ring. Dave.
Avowed. I don't know if you heard me say that one a couple of times.
No. Avowed is not in there, even though that got okay reviews. It got good reviews. No, someone's already said that, Gozzo. You got 5 more. I think 2 of them are really actually I think that these are quite more difficult. Yeah. So do you want clues?
Yeah, that'd be handy.
Okay. So what's the football game? Rematch. No, we've already said that. That's not in there. Angerfoot, no, because technically that came out last year, even though we've done that. Thank goodness you're here. Forza Motorsport 5 on PS. No, it doesn't count because it came out last year. Desperate, the football game. No. All right, let's give you clues. A game that recently came out in the last couple of weeks that's based on some books, and there's been many films about it. Literally in the last couple of weeks, this came out.
Oh, look at what we were doing last week.
Jesse, no. Manic, no. You can't read, you know that. No, not Harry Potter, because that came out a couple of years ago.
Is that Monster Train 2 on here at all?
Sorry?
Monster Train 2?
No.
No.
Shadow Labyrinth hasn't come out yet, Gozzo. Can't be in the first half of the year. Comes out in 2 weeks.
Did they like Atomfall at all?
No. Atomfall's not in there. Okay, I'll give you a clue. They did 2 movies recently.
Oh, Christ.
Not John Wick, no. The John Wick game came out 2 years ago. Or 3 years ago, actually.
Bugger, I can't remember what's been out at the cinema either now.
Yeah. Is it Marvel Rivals? No, that came out last year. No, that came out ages ago. Oh, no, it didn't. That came out last year, but didn't know. Is it Lara Croft? No, nowhere near.
I think we're going to need more clues.
All right, there's a lot of sand.
Oh, Dune Awakening.
Correct. Dune Awakening is in their top 14 games. Okay. I'll give you a clue. This next one, it was the first game we mentioned in the Metacritic list.
End Magnolia.
Correct. End of Magnolia is in there. Next one. It's all to do with drugs.
Ooh, that's on PC, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Bollocks, I remember the name of that.
No, none of the one of those in chat are right.
Oh, I know the one you mean. I can't think of the name of it though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to Google that one.
Yeah, they've said Blueprints, Jesse. That is correct. But we've already said that. Come on, chat. A game about drugs and delivering drugs. We did talk about it on this show. Split Fiction's already been said. You got 3 to get. Dave's like, no, because that is actually Gozzo. That is in the worst games of this year, apparently, because it had such a bad release. The Warhammer Mastercraft Edition, apparently.
Was it Schedule 1?
Correct. Yes, Schedule 1, the drug dealer game, is in the top 14 games. And then this is where I think it gets really difficult. I'll start with the start of the name of the game because there's no way I can describe. Oh, well, actually, it's a Souls-like game. Let's start with that. It's a Souls-like game. And then I'll do another. No, not in there, Jesse. But yeah, Schedule 1, Drawn Unicycle. Arkane says the one with the car. That narrows it down. That's not it. No. That came out years ago, Manic. Bloodborne. Mind you, everyone does want that Bloodborne remaster, but there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Wulong. The one that came out that was last year, I thought, or 2 years ago. Yeah, that thing. Said the Souls-like, yes.
Was it in like Kazan, the first Berserker?
Yes, the first Berserker Kazan, which was in our top 50 games of the year. That is in there. No, not Dynasty Warriors. No, Echo the Dolphin remake. No. And the last one, similar to Avowed, but it's not Oblivion either.
So the open world fantasy RPG.
Yes.
What else have we had this year then?
Not Fast Fusion. I know, and I'd forgotten about this already. No, not Blades of Fury. That got absolutely scraped by. But yeah, not Avowed, and not Oblivion, unfortunately. Oblivion's not even a pit, which really surprised me, actually. Now, we did talk about this game, but I'd completely forgotten about it. And I can't even remember how long ago we talked about it, but it was this year.
Any other clues you can give us? I can't think of any.
The first part of the name, Indiana Jones, went to find it in The Last Crusade. Buster Blood Vessel is getting there, and then that word is the other part of it. No, it's not Revenge of the Savage Planet. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is already in there, not Atomfall. So that word there, Avalon, and something that Indiana Jones was looking for in the third film.
Tainted Grail, The Fall of Babylon.
Correct. Which I don't even remember, but we talked about. So their top 14 in no order was Split Fiction, The Alters, Mario Kart World, First Berserker Kazan, Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon, Doom the Dark Ages, Death Stranding 2, Elden Ring Night Rain, Claire Obscura Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Schedule 1, Blueprints, End of Magnolia, and Dune Awakening. And I'm kind of like, that's interesting. You feel like I've made some of these games up? No. Yeah. It does vary.
They're definitely all real.
Yeah, and how different is it to the games that have scored highly? Because Doom has not done that well. And it's so funny because this, I'm not going to say what company this is. They did put out a video of their most disappointed games of the year. Now, some are trash. Civilization 7 was in there, but they're saying it's not a bad game. It just seems a lot more complicated. And there's things that they've taken out which actually have made the game slightly worse. And said, so you should stay with Civilization 6. But they also were like, yeah, the new Doom's not great, but then they put it in their top 14. And I'm like, eh?
I mean, it's a game you can have some fun with because the combat is good in it. I can't really fault the combat. It's just I just got a bit bored of it. It just went on a bit too long and it was a bit too samey towards the end.
It falls into the category of. I mean, when we talked on the talk show, it got an 8.5 on average. Ironically, that score has dropped since. So it's not even in the top 20 Metacritic games, which it should be because it had an 8.5, but it clearly hasn't got any more. It's one of those games that feels like a 7 out of 10. There.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Odie said Doom also appealed to retro gamers, but playing it was meh. Thank you, Odie. Hello, by the way, lovely. Apparently, the consensus is good, but not as good as the last two. I agree. But interestingly, Dave wasn't a big fan of Doom Eternal, were you? Whereas
I preferred the 2016 remake.
Yeah. Whereas I loved 2016, but thought Doom Eternal was great. So this felt a massive drop for me. But there you go. But I've talked about that nearly every fucking week since it came out. But I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it. But it ain't good enough to be on a list. I'd be surprised if it features in our top 15 of the year. So there you go. But there you go. Too much wanting Doom lovers. I know. So there you go. So there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a way to pad out the show, especially because there was hardly any games. Next week, we will have some more games through. There are at least 7 that we can talk about. One of them, which obviously we talked about last week, which we're saying it was a massive runaway success, but now they're duplicating it again. Is it going to fall the usual EA crap, which is going to be college football? College football is out next week. Actually, it comes out on Thursday. So we will see. We will see how it does. Have they just basically rinse and repeated it, or will it be the runaway success that the game was last year? And it did deserve that runaway success last year. So we'll have to see. But there you go, folks. That's it. That is our show. We'll be back with more Tuesday Night Gaming Chat next week. Don't forget, tomorrow is the last stream of the week, and it is our second Jackbox Party Pack evening, sponsored by Jackbox. We gave away 3 lots of Jackbox games last week. We've got another 3 to give away. You could be one of the lucky winners, and we'll be playing an array of Jackbox games throughout the evening. So hopefully we'll have 3 more lucky winners. Congratulations to our winners last week, Flame, iQuail, and Kindred. That means they can't win tomorrow, but some of you lucky people could also win some copies of Jackbox. So there you go. We are going to do a raid. Let's see who's on. Thank you so much. I hope you didn't mind us doing something a little bit different for the show, because frankly, it was difficult trying to write this week's show when they don't release hardly any fucking games. But there you go. Thank you to Dave, as always, for being my co-host and host. And glad you didn't suddenly turn around and go, yeah, fuck this, I'm off. So greatly appreciate that. Let's see who else we got. Finally bought my timeless ticket. Hey! That means there's only 23 VIP tickets left. Right, let's see who we've got. Should we surprise someone? I think we could. He popped into chat last night and he does support a lot of the events we do. Bless him, he's only got 2 people watching. Let's see what he's playing first. He'll probably love this.
Oh, you've been stunned into silence, or your video is frozen from my point of view. We're never going to know what he's been playing.
We're back. Yeah, the internet just decided to go and not having it. So fingers crossed we get through this.
I thought you'd been stunned into silence.
Yeah, I did. It just internet went, and I couldn't see you. I just had the whirring circles going around. So there you go. So we're going to try and raid Branty Gaming. He was there at the Manchester meet on Friday. He's a supporter of our events. Bless him. He's literally playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which is quite varied because we were talking about Call of Duty. And he's literally only got 2 people watching him. I know this will make his day if 30 of us go over there and go and raid him. He's such a lovely guy, and I've got a lot of time and respect for him. So let's go raid Branty. That raid will start when the end credits are rolled. There you go. Thank you so much to all the mods. As always, thank you, Mr. Dave Johnson. And thank you to every single person in chat. Jesse, I said like that. He says, well done for making a show out of that. Thank God, because that was a bastard to write. Normally, it's quite easy to write these shows, but it was a bastard to write this show.
It worked out well.
It works out all right. So thank you so much.
Nicely.
We got there in the end. So all that leaves us to say is, wherever you are in the world, have a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening, and we shall see you back for TNGC next week and 8:30 tomorrow for our second Jackbox sponsored stream. Looking forward to playing some Jackbox games with you. And that's it. Me and Dave will do that thing where we wave. And I realised I got away without busting my knees this week. Thanks so much. Good night.